Have you ever felt like the balance was off? You are consistently the first to contact her, and she remains silent as if she is anticipating rain in the desert. Days go by, and you wonder if she's even interested, or if I'm misreading everything. If this sounds like you, you're not alone. But instead of giving up and giving in to self-doubt, what if you could take a different approach? Today, we'll talk about how to deal with this dynamic with confidence and calm. Here are some steps you can take to change the energy in your favor. I'll also sprinkle in some timeless Stoic wisdom that can change not only how you see relationships, but also how you go through life. Let's get started. Back up and check out. Check out. It's challenging to accept that someone's lack of effort doesn't always show how much they value you. It shows what's most important to them. It's tempting to explain her away. Avoid making excuses such as she's just busy or she doesn't text much. But now is the time to be truthful. Ask yourself, am I becoming too interested in investigating? Stuck-up people tell us to see things as they are, not how we want them to be. Seneca's words are a wake-up call. The truth rarely makes people happy. In fact, it often shocks them. If she's not making an effort, it's likely that her interest in this truth isn't as strong as yours. While it may cause discomfort, it also allows you to focus your energy in the most beneficial areas. Let's say you're the first person to text her every morning and the one who suggests plans. The atmosphere is delightful when you are in close proximity. However, when you are apart, she fails to initiate conversations or communicate, and you are left to maintain the entirety of the relationship. Overanalyzing her behavior can easily become a habit. You might ask yourself, is she testing me? Is she shy? Am I just not enough? Rather than becoming entangled in this cycle, step back and observe her actions. Relationships, even the earliest ones, are about giving and receiving. If she's not trying, what does that say about her level of interest or emotional availability? Epictetus said that how we see something bothers us, not what it is. Her lack of effort is only hurtful when you see it as a sign of your value. Instead of you not being enough, her actions show what's important to her. If she's not putting you first, it's time to match her energy. Instead of texting her first, let her know you're not there. This is not a game or a strategy, it's a sign of self-respect. When you pull back, you make room for her to step forward if she wants to. If she doesn't, her lack of action tells you everything you need to know. When you don't start a conversation, you send a clear word to yourself that you deserve nothing but the best. If she values the relationship, she'll notice when you're not texting her and reach out. If she doesn't, you've saved yourself from wasting more time and energy on someone who isn't really interested in you. Every relationship, or lack thereof, is a chance to grow. Her lack of effort is a sign that it's time to move on to something else. Remember that your worth isn't based on someone else's effort or lack thereof. It's based on how much you respect yourself. You'll discover something far more precious, your own tranquility, when you cease pursuing unworthy pursuits. Think about what you expect. Mind step 2. Think about what you expect. In reality, not meeting our standards often leads to our anger. We expect her to text us first as a sign of interest and proof that she cares about us. When she doesn't, we think it shows how valuable we are, but this can lead to disappointment. Think about it. In this way, are you too focused on the way she texts? Let's shift our perspective. What if she demonstrates her interest in you by responding to your texts instead of initiating conversations? It's consistency, effort, and how both of you contribute to a meaningful relationship, not who texts first. Imagine this situation. You've been texting someone for a few weeks now, and every time she replies, she's warm. maybe even enthusiastic. But she never initiates, and you start to wonder if she's interested. You may feel underpaid right now. It's possible that she doesn't care. Maybe texting isn't her love language, or maybe she thinks you like initiating. What she says and does when you're together may indicate her interest in you beyond her behavior. The wise Greeks said that how you react matters more than what happens to you. You can't change whether she texts you first, but you can change how you interpret her behavior and, more importantly, how much you let it affect your peace of mind instead of spiraling into doubt or frustration. Remember that her actions belong to her and that I am in charge of my emotions. Regaining your power and becoming less reactive and more grounded helps you and makes you more attractive over time. Consider whether you are entering this relationship with genuine interest and curiosity, or if you are just trying to score points. Stoic men don't look for approval from others. Their sense of worth comes from within. Focus on being present, kind, and consistent, even if she texts first. When you put your own peace and emotional safety first, her texting habits will become less important. If she's genuinely interested, your calm demeanor will make her feel safe and respected. If she doesn't show interest, you can leave without feeling angry, as your happiness remains independent of her actions. Always keep in mind that your mental well-being should not be influenced by the actions of others. Marco. Embrace this way of thinking, and you'll feel stronger. You'll transition from feeling needy to exuding quiet confidence, and this, more than any text, will draw her attention. What do you think about this point of view? Does it resonate, or have you experienced something similar in a relationship? I'd love to hear what you think. Write your opinion in the comments, or just write, "My peace is my power." Your ideas not only add to the conversation, but they also make it possible for others to learn and grow along with you. Let's keep the conversation going. Step 3. Don't take it personally. Take it personally. It's straightforward to make assumptions about someone's behavior, especially if you care about them. If she doesn't respond, it can feel as though she doesn't like you as a person. However, the Stoics remind us that people's actions are often not about us. Instead, they are based on their own experiences, challenges, and priorities, which means you may never fully see or understand a lesser-known Stoic idea. Cynthia signifies the interconnectedness of all things. Her quiet isn't an attack on your worth. It's just part of her journey. Thoughts by Marcus Aurelius say that you and she both have a part to play in the big picture of events. When you realize this, you won't have to see her actions as a mirror of yourself. Think of a time when you weren't paying attention, maybe because you were busy with work, family problems, or personal struggles. Did you miss a message or check in with someone not because you didn't care, but because your mental bandwidth was full? The same issue or a simple difference in priorities could be the cause of her silence. For instance, you might be fully committed to establishing a connection while she's uncertain about her desires or preoccupied with other aspects of her life. Recognizing this difference in priorities isn't an excuse for her lack of effort. It's an admission that it doesn't define your value. When you stop taking her actions personally, you release unnecessary emotional weight. Avoid worrying about why she hasn't texted and focus on your own peace of mind. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about keeping your balance and sense of self-worth no matter what happens in the outside world. In a strange way, this feeling of detachment can make you more beautiful. When you're not trying to get approval from others or overreacting to silence, you give off a confident and calm vibe. People gravitate towards individuals who value their own worth and don't require validation from others. Change how you look at it. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to make my day better or more enjoyable? It could be working on your hobbies, going to the gym, or spending time with friends. Put your growth and happiness first, and you can do these things. It matters less if she remains silent. Sympathy reveals that despite our shared connection, we each pursue our own paths. Even though she doesn't like being quiet, it's part of her journey. It's not personal, it's just life going through its course. She may still be figuring things out, unprepared for your connection, or not a good fit. Understanding the interconnectedness of everything enables you to navigate uncertainty with tranquility. Know that her behavior is about her, not you, to avoid taking it personally and focus on your growth. You should trust that the right connections will naturally arise. Stop chasing and start living your true life, and the things meant for you will naturally come together. Step 4. Match her energy. Imagine the following scenario. You send a good match. Her morning text doesn't receive a response, and by the afternoon, you're eager to reconnect, so you send another message to check in. Despite your good intentions, sending another message often comes across as needy or overbearing. Here's the irony. The more you chase, the less attractive you seem. Why? Because constant availability eliminates the excitement of connection. When there's no space for curiosity to grow, the dynamic becomes one-sided and uninspiring. If she's not putting in effort, the answer isn't to double down on yours, it's to pull back and match her energy. Think about it. When you're always available, you leave no room for her to wonder about you, to miss your presence, or to feel the desire to reach out. But when you create a little distance, you invite curiosity. This doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you're valuing your time and emotional energy. If she wants to connect, she'll take the opportunity when it's available. If she doesn't, her actions or lack thereof will reveal her level of interest. The Stoics valued temperance means finding balance and moderation in everything. In relationships, this means fighting the desire to overcompensate and instead finding harmony in what you do. If you're thinking about sending that extra text or trying to fill the silence, ask yourself if you're really doing it or if you're just looking for a response to prove your worth. By matching her energy, you demonstrate your respect for yourself and your willingness to compromise without pursuing something that isn't freely available. When you match her energy, you send a clear message to yourself and to her that your time and effort are valuable, and you're not willing to give them away freely to someone who doesn't reciprocate this balance. Make your ties better. It also makes you feel better about your own self-worth. Texting too much can make you look desperate, but texting in moderation shows that you are confident and stable. Those who care for themselves naturally attract others. If you practice temperance, you give off a calm vibe, assurance that is naturally appealing. The Stoics taught us that balance is the key to a joyful life. If you apply this to your relationships, you'll not only feel lighter and freer, but you'll also become someone who easily earns respect and admiration. Have you ever felt like you were overcompensating? Have you ever tried to match someone else's energy to see what happens? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the space below, or just leave this short line. I choose balance over chasing your point of view. Share your story to help someone else on their journey, but don't forget to focus on your own journey. Focus on your own growth. If you're always thinking about someone else's growth, why they're not tense, what they're thinking, or how they feel, you give them power over your emotions, which makes you feel frustrated and unsafe. You can't control what she does, but you can control how you react, and the best response is none. Shift your focus to your own growth. As Seneca wisely said, the greatest power is self-mastery. When you prioritize self-improvement, you reclaim your power and create a life that's fulfilling, whether she's a part of it or not. Self-growth is about focusing on yourself and building a life you're proud of. You can hit the gym to boost your confidence and energy, or you can learn something new, whether it's a skill, a hobby, or a book that excites you. Spend time with people who genuinely care about you and pursue passions that make you feel alive and fulfilled. When you focus on your mental, emotional, and physical well-being, you create a fulfilling life that doesn't depend on anyone else. And this natural confidence is magnetic, drawing the right people into your life while keeping you grounded and happy. Imagine this. You've been waiting all day for her to text back, but your phone remains silent. Instead of staring at the screen or letting the silence eat away at you, you decide to hit the gym. While there, you push yourself to lift heavier, run faster, or try a new workout routine. Afterward, you feel accomplished, energized, and proud of yourself. Later that evening, instead of ruminating on her lack of response, you pick up a book or work on a personal project. Over time, this routine becomes your new normal. Your life is already full and meaningful, so you no longer need her messages to make you happy. And here's the irony. When you stop trying to get her attention and start doing well on your own, she's much more likely to notice. Individuals who exhibit confidence, independence, and a focus on personal growth tend to attract others. Use this time to develop your own virtues, whether they're discipline, patience, or resilience. Each step you take towards self-mastery brings you closer to becoming the person you want to be. True confidence doesn't come from outside approval. It comes from knowing your worth and living in line with your values. When you work on your physical, mental, and emotional health, you build an unshakable foundation of self-respect. Having magnetic inner confidence makes you more attractive to others and changes how you see yourself. You won't put up with one-sided relationships or look for approval because you'll know that your value doesn't depend on them. If she's not texting or reaching out, don't waste your time trying to figure out why. Use that time to work on your own growth. Go to the gym and learn something new. Whatever you do to improve yourself, whether it's getting closer to friends or following your dreams, it boosts your confidence and makes you more attractive to everyone. Grown-ups realize that their happiness and fulfillment don't depend on others, which is the most freeing, attractive, and stoic trait. Talk to each other openly, and open and honest communication is important in today's dating world, which is full of mixed messages and sneaky games. Being honest with someone can be scary. What if they think you're too forward? What if your honesty turns them off? But let's face it, avoiding the issue will only delay this important connection. If something doesn't feel right, it's time to face it head-on with clarity and calm. For example, let's say you've been the one texting first to set up dates and show interest, but you're starting to feel off. You wonder if she's really interested or just responding out of politeness. Stop guessing and start talking to her. Playing games like waiting for her to text first or pulling back to see if she notices might seem like a safe way to keep your feelings safe, but they usually just make things worse. Dealing with things openly and straight is better. As the Stoics say, real strength comes from being honest and having integrity. If you want to have an honest conversation with her, don't come at her with anger or blame. Instead, approach her with interest and a desire to understand. For example, you could say, "I've noticed that I'm usually the one who starts our conversations or plans. This connection is important to me, so I wanted to see if you were also interested." This kind of statement is powerful because it's calm, direct, and not accusatory. You're not demanding answers or putting the blame on someone else. Instead, you're setting the stage for a meaningful conversation when you bring up sensitive topics. Because of the risk of misunderstanding, don't have this conversation over text. Instead, talk about it in person or on the phone when everyone is quiet. Be curious instead of angry, and remember that the goal isn't to pressure her, it's to gain her trust. Clear communication can clarify misunderstandings and provide the information you need to proceed. Either she's really interested but has been holding back because she doesn't know how you feel, or she's not as invested as her lack of effort demonstrates. Either way, an honest conversation lets you both confirm your goals. Discussing what matters shows you value yourself and the relationship enough to deal with it. Whether the relationship grows or ends, you'll know you acted with respect. If a connection is important to you, don't use games or silence. Deal with the imbalance in a cool and interested way. Ask for clarification out of respect, not demand. Real courage emerges during these times of truth, as Stoicism instructs. Not only does clear communication clear up misunderstandings, it also boosts your self-respect, which makes you a more attractive and grounded person. Now that we've talked about how to have these conversations calmly and effectively, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced a situation where open communication was crucial, or have you observed the consequences when it wasn't? Comment your stories and insights below to inspire someone to take the first step. Take a brave step towards step 7 of clarity. Make an excess. Get into the spirit of abundance. Focusing on someone who isn't replenishing your energy can easily lead to a scarcity mindset. When you put all your emotional investment in one person, every ignored text, unreturned call, or lack of effort hurts more. But here's the truth. If you're willing to open yourself up to them, there are a lot of opportunities and connections waiting for you. When you put all your focus on one person, her actions, or lack thereof, can feel all-consuming. Every ignored text or unrecognized effort hurts more deeply because you've subconsciously tied your sense of fulfillment to her responses. It's challenging to step back and see the bigger picture when you're thinking about lack. Evaluate your behavior. Am I behaving as though she is the sole individual capable of bringing me joy? If the answer is yes, it's time to step back and change how you see things. Stoics tell us to accept things as they are, not as we wish they were. If she's not matching your energy, it doesn't mean you're not valuable. It just means that this link might not be right for you. That's okay. Life is full of options. Having an abundance mindset means understanding that the lack of effort from one person doesn't limit your choices. There are many people who love and respect you as you are. To find them, you need to broaden your views. Start by checking out new places. Meeting new people and putting money into things that make you content isn't about replacing her. It's about broadening your view and reminding yourself of how big life is. Focusing on abundance will make her lack of effort seem less significant. The Stoic principle of amor fati, or loving your fate, tells us to accept all outcomes, even the ones that seem disappointing at first. If she's not reciprocating your effort, it's not a failure. When you practice amor fati, life is just leading you to something or someone that is better for you. When someone isn't interested in you, it's not rejection, it's redirection, life's way of telling you to keep exploring and stay open to new connections. Imagine yourself deeply invested in someone who isn't putting in the same effort. Instead of doubling down on trying to win her over, you decide to grow your social circle. You go to events, join a hobby group, or just say yes to opportunities you might have previously ignored. Over time, you meet new people. As your life is full of new people and events, some will become friends, and others will spark a romantic interest. As you remember that she wasn't the only option, her absence starts to seem less important. There are many ways to get what you want. That's the power of wealth. You can make room for excess by letting go of what's not working. Thinking positively isn't just about making new connections. It's also about realizing that life is full of opportunities waiting for you. Let go of what isn't working and trust that the right chances will present themselves. In the meantime, focus on living fully and honestly, because that's where real abundance lies. Step 8. Set boundaries without ultimatums. In relationships, boundaries are the foundation of mutual respect and emotional health. But too often, people use boundaries as a way to control others, giving ultimatums to try to get them to change their behavior. This method rarely works, and more importantly, it makes you feel less positive about your own self-worth. You set boundaries to maintain peace and uphold your principles, not to control others. Imagine you're in a relationship where it feels like only one person is putting in the work. Perhaps she consistently distances herself or fails to adhere to your unwavering rules for treatment. It's easy to fall into a pattern of overcompensating or enduring behavior that leaves you feeling undervalued. Set limits on what you will and will not put up with, not to punish others, but out of respect for yourself. They show that you care about yourself enough to leave situations that don't fit with your values or needs. Demands focusing on controlling the other person is a waste of time and energy. Saying things like, "If you don't text me more, I'm done," or "If you don't make an effort, I'm walking away," often backfires instead of leading to real change. Ultimatums make people angry, or you can instruct someone to adhere to the rules without resorting to a lengthy speech or a dramatic departure. You can do it in a calm and simple way, for example. "I prefer relationships that are characterized by consistency and hard work, and I perceive an imbalance in this situation. I'm looking for a bond where both people put in effort." This kind of statement isn't an ultimatum or demand. It's a clear statement of your values. If she respects you, she'll think about her actions and decide if she can meet your standards. If she is unable to meet your expectations, her response will inform you when it's time for her to leave. If she keeps failing, you don't need to argue or explain yourself over and over. Just take a step back. No need to slam the door in anger or frustration to keep your peace. Instead, you have to calmly leave settings that don't fit with your values. According to Stoics, justice involves being fair to yourself as well as others. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it doesn't make sense to, this is true for relationships, value what you can't change. When you set limits, you can't make someone meet your standards, but you can decide if you'll keep up with behavior that doesn't meet them. Treating yourself fairly shows that you value your time, energy and feelings, and won't settle for less than what is in line with your values. This is an example of practicing justice. When you treat yourself with fairness and justice, you set yourself up for better relationships, and if someone isn't ready to meet your standards, their absence makes room for better ones. Stay calm, stand up for what you believe in, and trust that staying true to yourself will lead to the right connections. What do you think about this way of setting boundaries? Do you see it as a way to improve connections, or does it make your current relationships more difficult? Leave a comment with your ideas, or just leave this sentence. Keep the peace and follow your set of rules. Let's talk about how setting limits can help us all. Step 9. Let go of the outcome. When you're not sure if you'll connect, it's normal to wonder, will she text me back? Does she feel the same way? These questions can keep you up at night, making every moment of silence a source of stress. The truth is that focusing on the result gives it more control over your peace of mind. One of the best ways to free yourself and the relationship is to stop worrying and let it go. When you reply, think about the times you've shared a moment of connection. Did you enjoy the conversation? Did it make you feel good? Joy is to express yourself or share a part of your day. That's what matters. When you let go of the need for a specific outcome, you can enjoy the interaction for what it is, a human connection moment, not a transaction that needs a guaranteed return. This way of thinking not only keeps you calm, but it also makes your energy more attractive. People gravitate towards individuals who exude happiness and self-assurance, rather than those who appear anxious about future events. If you've had a wonderful conversation with her and then text her to check in or share something important, and she doesn't reply right away, don't worry about what you said and whether you should send another message. Remind yourself that you can't change how she reacts. Shift your attention to something you enjoy, like going to the gym, starting a new hobby, or spending time with friends. By separating yourself from the result, you show yourself that your peace of mind isn't dependent on what she says. Keeping a detached attitude can help you a lot. When you're not worried about getting a reaction, you give off an air of confidence and self-assurance that people can't resist. Your energy changes. Now you don't seem needy or worried, but calm and sure of yourself. People are pulled to this energy because it means you're rooted in yourself, and your happiness isn't based on what other people think of you. Not only is this about looking attractive to her, it's also about becoming more in tune with your best self. People naturally gravitate towards you when you prioritize your peace and concentrate on the present. When you stop worrying about whether she'll text you back and start focusing on the joy of connection, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. By practicing the Stoic principle of ataraxia, you create a state of tranquility that protects your peace and boosts your confidence. Letting go of the result isn't the same thing as not caring. It means having faith in yourself enough to handle whatever comes your way with grace. When you radiate that calm confidence, you'll not only feel lighter and freer, but your energy will also become undeniably attractive. 10th step. Willing to walk, be ready to walk away. Every relationship has a point where the uneven amount of effort is too much to ignore. If her lack of effort becomes a pattern, leaving you constantly chasing her while she gives the bare minimum, it's time to ask yourself, am I valuing myself as much as I want to receive value? When you walk away from someone you care about, it can feel like giving up or admitting defeat, but it's not failure. It's an act of strength and self-respect. From a Stoic point of view, walking away is often the best way to honor your own worth and make room for deeper, more fulfilling connections. The first thing you should do is figure out if her lack of effort is a one-time thing or a pattern. While everyone experiences busy days or moments of distraction, persistent one-sided effort indicates a deeper issue. Ask yourself if you're the one who always starts conversations and plans, if she seems uninterested no matter how hard you try to get her to participate, and if her behavior makes you feel undervalued or unappreciated. If you answered yes to these questions, consider whether this dynamic aligns with your values and self-respect. It's not about punishing her or creating a scene to walk away. It's about respecting yourself enough to stop chasing someone who isn't meeting your needs. Real relationships are mutual. You don't have to prove yourself. According to Marcus Aurelius, what stands in the way becomes the way. A problem can lead you to a better road if you don't try to solve it. When you walk away, you're not closing a door. Rather, you're paving the way for new relationships that value you equally. You've been dating someone for a few months and are always the one suggesting dates, checking in, and keeping the relationship alive. She responds, but her interest feels superficial. You've talked about it, but nothing changes. Once you've done everything, you can decide whether to continue. Instead of waiting for her to change, you decide to step back and send her a kind but clear message that says, "I've really enjoyed getting to know you, but I feel like the effort in this relationship isn't balanced. I think it's best for me to move on." This isn't about making her feel guilty or expecting more from her. It's about getting your energy and self-worth back. When you leave someone who doesn't value you, you make room for someone who does. You can now allocate the time and energy you previously invested in a one-sided relationship to individuals and pursuits aligning with your values. When you leave someone who doesn't value you, you send a strong message to yourself as well. You're saying that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and you're willing to put your peace of mind over one-sided relationships. Self-respect like this is enticing. It lets others and yourself know that you know what you're worth and won't settle for less. Avoid worrying if she doesn't text you, because it boosts your confidence and makes you more attractive to the right people. In the end. First, take a moment to think about how you are empowered to change your life and relationships. Use this as a chance to grow, set clear boundaries, and truly value yourself. Remember that your worth comes from within, not from others. Thanks for watching and being a part of this journey. If this message spoke to you, please like the video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and leave a comment below. I want to know what one thing you're going to do today to take back your power and change the way you think. Remember that life is a practice of growth and self-mastery that never ends. Stay strong, stay focused, and always stay true to your values. Every day is a new chance. See you in the next video. Take it one step at a time until then, and keep being strong.